You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Broadcasting live statewide from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who's had a paper route for 25 years but never collected, Pete Schwaba.
You don't have to collect. It's on me, folks. Get your daily news here. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nite Lite. Welcome back. We are kicking off Act 2 on this outstanding Tuesday Wisconsin summer night. My guest at the moment is Chris Rugowski. We will get back to Chris in just a minute. He is the founder of Chicken or the Egg Photography and a local musician and photographer. So we'll jump back into that. Rob Thomas is here at 7:20 talking movies and what we can still expect at the box office as the summer goes on. And we're going to talk to Rob about his take on strip mall bars and see what Rob has to say, because he wrote a cool piece for CityCast Madison. Our question of the night, folks, is in honor of National Fresh Breath Day, which I didn't even know existed. What is the best way to tell someone they have bad breath? Do you tell them? Do you suffer through it? Do they wonder why you're crying? What happens, folks? Let us know. Be part of the show. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Conrad has told me I have amazing breath. We don't usually get that close. There's usually glass between us, but, you know, it holds up for the most part. I went off on a Tiger Woods rant from my stand-up days. It was crazy. I haven't done that joke in ages, and I kind of laid it out there, Chris, like it was just conversational, but it was from the stand-up act, so I apologize.
I would have never guessed
if that was too overt. Oh, good. I'm glad it sounded conversational. Tom from New Berlin says, worst breath is your friend has pounded too many beers down and you're coming to the party later and you get yeast bomb.
Ooh.
Yeast bomb there, overserve them to be insulted on their breath. Yes, I'm with you, Tom. I know that smell. Tom says, yes, a photo is worth 1,000 words. And that, of course, is in reference to our current guest, Chris Rugowski. Daniel from Menasha, he's in the 920. He says, you just have to slowly remove that person from your life. Offering a mint will only hurt their feelings. That's true, and it's a quick fix. That's just a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
I like where Daniel's going with that. And I've seen Daniel's work. Remember when he came in here and he had that horrifying mask?
Yeah.
He might have some shallow graves in his backyard. I'm not making accusations. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. Jim from Appleton, he's in the 920. He says the proper passive-aggressive response to bad breath from someone else is to carry smelling salts to sniff after they breathe on you to clear the smell from your nostrils. Sounds like Jim's got some experience there. Tom from Jackson says the bird seed. Do you know what that means?
Is that something to help your breath?
Eat bird seed? I'd rather have bad breath, honestly.
I mean, if it's like the spicy bird seed, maybe.
Do people eat that?
I don't know. It keeps the squirrels away.
Okay. All right, noted. That's Chris. I'm so glad you're here for reasons other than that. But we are starting Act 2 here, and Chris Rugowski is here. He's the founder of Chicken or the Egg Photography here in Green Bay, and he is a local musician and photographer. So you have a photojournalist background. Is that a different kind of photography than, say something like, do you ever, let's start here. What is your favorite thing to shoot? If you have one.
That's a good question. Years ago, it would have been bands. And it still is bands. But I think my favorite thing to shoot is whatever I'm getting in the moment.
Okay.
I know that's really ethereal, but I don't really have a favorite per se. You know, some people really specialize in one thing, and like I said before, the beat thing. So I just like whatever's in front of me usually.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Do you ever go out seeking to shoot things? Like it's a kind of a hazy night, maybe I could get a good sunset or sunrise or people frolicking on the beach or something like that?
I have done that. I when I very first started in photography, I was big into nature and sunrises and stuff, so I'd always go to get the sunrises and sunsets and things like that and nature things. But, you know, ever since being in photography full time, like I don't go out intentionally now these days because I need a break from the camera.
Sure.
Usually, at least.
And you do commercial stuff too,
Yeah.
which keeps you busy, probably pays the bills.
A little bit more than free.
Yeah, right. And so have you ever captured anything where it's like, it just happened and you're like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever? Has that ever happened like unintentionally where you've captured a really cool shot?
Yeah, actually, we were in India and I captured this scene outside. We were in the bus and doing on this tour, and I captured the scene of 3 guys with a newspaper, all reading it, and then immediately I was watching them as we were going by. They looked up and they looked at each other and they started laughing, and it was this like beautiful image of,
oh wow,
you know, not something you'll ever get again. And I think that's to your point about photojournalism. Like that's really what I aim for, is that moment you will never get again,
Yeah.
and then not editing it. You know, what you see is what you get, other than, you know, upping the contrast or something. But I hate post work. I absolutely hate it. If I can avoid it, I will.
All right. So that was my next, and I know exactly what you mean. Like when you capture something that you, like if I'm looking at the photograph, I can put myself there.
Yeah.
Or I can anticipate almost what they're saying. It's like a movie that you lose yourself completely in. That was one of my questions too. The shooting part, point and click. I'm sure I know more goes into it than that, but the editing part, just like movies, it can be really tedious. But what's less fun for you and what's more fun?
I think it depends. You know, if it's a project where I know there's going to be a lot of editing, I will probably aim to enjoy both parts.
Okay.
If it's something like Mile of Music, where I'm like, I got thousands of photos to edit here, and I know that they're not going to use all of them, I don't pay attention to every single photo with intricate detail, but I still make sure they look good. Of course, I don't want to send them junk.
Right. What? Where can people find out more information if they want to use chicken or the egg photography? I'm assuming you have a website, social medias, stuff like that.
Yeah. So the best place to find me if you want to work with me is my website, and use the contact form, or just shoot me an email, chickenortheeggphotography@gmail.com, or text me.
Yeah.
My phone number's on there too. I do not use Instagram. Please, I don't check Instagram.
Okay.
Facebook is pretty big. If you want to follow me, that's a really good place to do that. I get a lot of follows and interaction on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn a little bit.
Okay.
Still breaking the mold on that one, but yeah, between those 3, or just talk to your friends, because someone you know knows me. I can almost guarantee it.
Interesting. You know, in one of those articles I read about you, you credited LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I make jokes about LinkedIn.
Oh,
saying,
yeah?
6 people noticed my profile. So long, suckers. You know, but like I'm on it, but I see jobs come up for radio or screenwriting or whatever. But what did it do for you? Because I don't know a whole lot of stories about LinkedIn catapulting someone to fame, you know?
Well, let me tell you. No, it didn't catapult me to fame, but what it did do, it got me a job with a family shoot with someone who works at a pretty big company here in town.
Okay.
And then that was nice, and that was my first job from LinkedIn. And then the second one was the Reed job, the first one I talked about with the bikes. And that all happened because I tagged the company online on a LinkedIn post. It was after a nice January day. It was like 50 degrees in January, which is unheard of in Wisconsin, right? And I went out, I rode the bike, and I took this nice picture. And like a month later, one of their marketing people reached out to me and was like, "Hey, we really like this. I'm going to pass your name along to our marketing, like head of marketing or something."
Yeah.
And it just kind of blossomed from there.
Wow. And they still didn't throw in a bike.
Well, that's the next job.
All right. I also, in this article I read, you were talking about a photography style.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have one? Like, if people are in the know in your line of work, oh, Chris Rugowski, he's a... How would they define your style?
A really good photographer? I don't know. I heard it recently, and I was going to make a Facebook post about this, but I was talking to them at Mile, and they said, what I like about your photos is there's this 3D aspect to it. So, there's a foreground, a middle ground, and a background, and you just have this way to make it look natural. And it's not portraits, it's photojournalism. I mean, that's really, at the end of the day, I'm really good at photojournalism. I capture the moment. Cool. I do well at all the other stuff that I do, but I've trained myself to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas the photojournalism comes naturally.
My guest is Chris Rugowski. He's the founder of Chicken or the Egg Photography here in Green Bay, and he is a local musician as well. Should we get to some of your music stuff? Because you do work acoustically by yourself, or is it by yourself? Because you do have a title, The Finest Foe.
Yeah, The Finest Foe is my own solo project. That's whatever comes to my mind. And then there's Age of Fable, the full band.
And what do you prefer?
Both. My bandmates are listening. I like both.
I hate having to split the check with them at the end of the night. But so what kind of music is that?
The Finest Foe is like acoustic, 90s alternative stuff, and covers. And then the full band is a good old rock band, and we will melt your faces.
Sweet. Progressive rock?
Yeah. Yeah, how'd you know? Because you looked it up?
You said melt your face. It probably is in my subconscious too. But what? Is that all original stuff?
Yeah. So we've got an album out right now. It's going to be. Hopefully we're going back in the studio pretty soon to record some new stuff with the new guys. But yeah, it's going to be fun.
That's all. We have to play next time you come back.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll have it on hand.
I hope so. I know sometimes when a bunch of long hairs get together, sometimes they break up. So.
Yeah, right. Well, we took the dreaded photo, and no one's left yet. So
right, that's good. Chris, what are you watching on TV? You work hard, you edit photos, you shoot photos, you're playing music. When you sit down at the end of the day, what are you watching?
If it's not Lord of the Rings or The Matrix or Batman, it's Agretsuko. And
that's what you mentioned that during the break.
Yeah, Agretsuko, and it's a super funny anime. It's on Netflix, but it's just funny. I mean, it's this little like red panda girl who works in accounting and loves to do metal screaming karaoke. And the switch between Agretsuko and Retsuko, I think is the character's name, and then the screaming guy, it's wonderful.
For someone who I've never really watched anime, and I'm intimidated by it because I don't
So
know.
am
I honestly, I like animation, like I watch The Simpsons, Family Guy, whatever. But what is it about anime that? Why would you tell me to watch it?
Frankly, I watch whatever Melanie puts on.
Is that's your better half?
I apparently have a Netflix account and I don't know how to use it.
Okay.
So it's funny. I'm a tech guy who doesn't use Netflix or anything.
Interesting.
Yeah. whatever she puts on, we watch, and it's usually good.
All right. Well, that's good. So she puts it on. If you don't like it, you just space out and
kind of, yeah.
Say, at least
I eat
my
my pineapple and don't do anything else.
And Netflix is only like $2,000 a month now, so that's not bad. Right. Hey, this was fun. Thank you. It's been great to meet you, Chris, and continued success with all your photography and music. And come back and play sometime, and let us know where you're playing too. We'd love to.
Well, you know where to find me.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Chris Rugowski, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, Rob Thomas is here, our favorite Madison-based film critic. We'll talk all things Madison and movies with Rob, and we'll read your texts. Send us a bad breath text. Text it with bad breath. Breathe on the text and send it in. It'll permeate the interwebs. All right. It's Pete Schwaba and Netflix on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Can't take my eyes off you.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Welcome back. I think that was like the first song we played, the bumper tune. One of the first ones, because everything I picked was like had to have night in it because it was Nite Lite, but that's when we were on at like 10 o'clock at night.
Well, it's actually, like you said before break, this is Netflix. Not Nite Lite, it's Netflix.
Just Pete Schwaba and Netflix. I would kill to be Netflix.
Yeah, right.
They own everything. Our question of the night, folks, you still have time to get something in. It's National Fresh Breath Day. What is the best way to tell someone they have bad breath? Would you do it? Would you ignore it and bear it and just let your eyes well up with tears? What do you do? And our next guest would not know anything about this because he has about the freshest smelling breath I've ever. And within 10 feet of the guy, he has great breath. And he is also a film critic in Madison. And he is the City Cast of Madison newsletter editor and does fine work there. You can also follow his Substack at Not That Rob Thomas. That's a lot of stuff Rob's up to, Conrad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a busy guy. And he joins us now here on Nite Lite, as he so often does. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Pete. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. My breath is fresh down here in Madison.
How do you do that? What's your secret?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't think I could tell somebody they had bad breath. I might just suddenly give them like a mint Oreo or something and try and subtly improve the quality of their aroma.
I've been known to fake an injury and just go down. And then it's like, I take a knee and then they don't know. They're none the wiser. Or a good head fake, too, can get you out of some bad breath radius. Hey, how are you, Rob? Are you having a good summer so far?
Yeah, the weather's been great down here in Madison after kind of a hot, sticky June and July.
Yeah.
Usually it's the reverse. So it's been great. Yeah, movie-wise, I feel like we're kind of over the summer movie season. And,
okay.
I know the stuff coming into theaters is kind of low key, I think. And
right.
Yeah.
Do you have any intention of seeing Naked Gun?
I would love to. I was actually going to go Sunday night, and then it was just so nice out. I went and rode bikes with my daughters, which was awesome.
Oh, it's tough to pass up. Yeah.
But watching the original 1988 movie with Leslie Nielsen in the theater.
Yeah.
One of the great movie experiences. And then I used to watch
Agreed.
Police Squad on TV or in the early 80s, the TV show. So I'm all in on this. You saw it, right?
Listen, Police Squad ran for like maybe a half a season in the late 80s.
It's like 6 episodes.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And then it made a comeback, but I thought it was gone forever. And I thought it was so, like when he looks in the telescope and he says, not the telescope, the microscope, he says, I don't have to look at DNA samples. He says, I don't see anything. Use your open eye, Frank. Oh, stuff like that. And I don't know, like I saw Naked Gun. I don't think they totally captured that. There's some big laughs in this.
Yeah.
But Leslie Nielsen was born to be that guy, whether it was Airplane or Naked Gun, in my opinion.
And Madison guys, right? Who did Airplane,
the Zuckers,
and Naked Gun,
yeah.
Police Squad, the Zucker brothers. So yeah, there's although I guess they got kind of froze out of this remake, from what I heard. They got paid, but when they wanted to, at least one of them wanted to offer some jokes, they were, it was kind of the bad breath scenario. They were politely turned away.
Bad breath of movie involvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read the thing with David Zucker yesterday that said he was developing a script where Drebin's son was in his 30s. This is years ago. So he had a great attitude, I thought. He said, I'm not going to see this movie. I don't need to see it. But I wish the director well. I'm glad comedies are back. He texted the director. I thought he had a very professional response to it, but I kind of get where he's coming from too.
Yeah, that's nice, I think. But also, I mean, I think I understand the need for the new writers and directors to do their own thing rather than lean on those guys. And one of them passed away, Jim Abrams. But
right.
But every generation gets their own Frank Drebin, I guess.
Exactly. Right? And Neeson's good, but he's just too much of an ass kicker, I think. And it's like I don't know. But anyway, there's some good laughs. I'd be curious to know what you think if you ever decide to check it out. Let's talk about Sketch. You reviewed the film on your Substack. You liked it a lot, and you said it was better than like Harold and the Purple Crayon. Tell us about Sketch.
Yeah, it opens. I think it's having sneak previews tonight, and then opens wide tomorrow. And when I saw the trailer, I thought, oh, this is like one of those, power of imagination family films, and like the Harold and the Purple Crayon movie, or there was one called If last year about imaginary friends with Ryan Reynolds, and they're just so like I don't know, just so forced whimsy and like.
Mm.
But this one I thought was pretty fun. It was about this girl, probably 10, who is an artist, and she's mourning her mother's passing, and she gets out all her negative emotions by scribbling in her notebook and drawing all these monsters and horrible for a 10-year-old images and stuff. And her dad's cool with it, and like, however it works, however you're processing things, that's great. um, but then there's like a magic pond, which most properties have, I think, right? And
It's all how you look at it.
it is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a perk on the real estate listing. And all the monsters come to life, and they're all like, they look like they're hand drawn or paper mache, and start terrorizing the town. So it reminded me a lot of Gremlins or the Goonies, those kind of 80s movies that, like,
Yeah.
they're kids movies, but like not for too young kids. They might be a little scary. It moves fast. It's really funny. The adult performances, I think, are great. Tony Hale from Arrested Development plays the dad, and so I thought it was good. Yeah, it was a nice surprise. I'll say that for sure. Yeah.
It's on my list now, and I watched. I don't watch a lot of kids films anymore, but like you recommended Flow, and I watched that and loved it. And this has the same type of feel. Like I'll probably check this out just because it seems different, and it's getting a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes with like 30 reviews, which is really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I think people. Yeah, it's a fun one.
All right, Rob Thomas is here, folks. We're going to do a quick break for news, and we are coming right back. And he broke down the movies so far this year. We'll talk about that and cool bars in Madison. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Oh, you've been on a fast train, and it's going off the rail. And you can't come back. Can't come back.
Welcome back, folks. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite. That song, you probably don't know this, Con, was featured in the show The Wire. What I'm very excited about, I think it was the end of season 3, there was this great montage they did. And Dan Schaefer is coming on the show next Thursday. We're going to have a special Wire talk because he loves The Wire. Political consultant here at political guru here at Civic Media, Dan Schaefer, will be here next Tuesday. Tomorrow night on the show, Northeast Wisconsin filmmaker Craig Knitt will be here in studio, and Deandra Marie, a local singer-songwriter, will be in the studio as well, singing. So it's kind of a Northeast Wisconsin theme tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Our question tonight in honor of Fresh Breath Day is, what is the best way to tell someone they have bad breath? Our pal, local actor Dan Davies says, just a quick question. Have you been chewing on your socks? That's a good one.
Have you?
I haven't.
That's good.
Dan has about the freshest breath. Not as fresh as Rob Thomas's breath, who joins us now over the stream from our state's capital in Madison. Rob is a film critic based out of Madison. Follow him at his Substack, Not That Rob Thomas, or you can read the CityCast Madison newsletter. Rob, as always, you guys had great articles in there. We'll get to some of those. What I want to ask you about first, though, you followed suit, and you're doing like this thing that every film reviewer does. You're recapping the first 7/12 of the year. I love that.
I forgot.
That's so cliche, Rob.
Everybody does the first half. And then I was like, oh yeah, I guess I should have done that. I was on vacation around New Year, 4th of July. So I did the first 7/12. The only 7/12 top 10 list you'll find out there.
And that's what makes you unique. That's why you were such an effective film critic. So let's jump into your list. Hey, first of all, where can I see 40 Acres? You reviewed that on your Substack.
Yeah, that was in theaters
about
6 weeks ago. I bet it's on video on demand now. I'm not sure, though.
I might actually watch that tonight. You gave it such a good review.
That's a good one.
Okay. So let's talk about your movies so far in the first 7/12 of the year of 2025. Number one, you have Black Bag, right?
Yeah, that
Nice.
It's close between 1 and 2, but Black Bag is just, I just think that's a perfect movie. I mean, and right up my alley. British spy,
Yeah.
thriller, but like much more about dialogue and performance and character than action. I mean, there's not one, but two dinner party scenes in that movie. So it's definitely not a John Wick movie. But, Michael Fassbender and Kate Blanchett, and it's so twisty, but I felt like I could follow it pretty clearly what was going on. The supporting performances are all great. Pierce Brosnan looks like he's never looked in a movie before, very sort of old,
right?
And cranky, and I really liked him in it. I think that's on Peacock now. If people want to watch it, it gets off to a slow start, I would say. Which I was hooked, but if you're expecting thrills and spills, you might be a little surprised. But I was locked in the whole time.
It's so great. Like I agree with you. It started slow, but I have so much confidence or faith, I guess you'd say, in the writer. I think it was David Koepp, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I had faith in the writer and in Soderbergh's directing. I'm like, I know this is going to pick up. And it's not like I didn't like it when it was slow. I don't mind a movie that breathes and they kind of gradually get into it. But yeah, that was a good one. And then you had Sinners #2, which I might say is my favorite of the year so far, just because it was so cool and different and like on every aspect, like the look of it, the script, the music, the direction, the acting. It was just a masterpiece, I thought.
I agree. Yeah, like I said, they're close. Like Black Bag is very controlled and precise,
right?
Whereas like Sinners is taking big swings. And
yes.
A couple of them, towards the end, I wasn't crazy about, which I won't spoil. But,
sure.
But like the way it mixes horror and historical drama, the way you just buy that Michael B. Jordan is two different people, like you just completely buy that.
Yeah.
Like, and both performances are Oscar worthy, and the way it's like, yeah, just so scary, but also thrilling and funny and very thoughtful. I think about art and music and the way it's co-opted and the way it frees people. Like it's just so much going on in that movie. Ryan Coogler, should be able to do whatever he wants for the rest of his career.
Oh, yeah.
After that, so yeah. I mean, and those, there's 5/12 left of 2025, so positions may change.
Something could change. Yeah. So I want to ask you about one more. You've got it rated really highly at #3, and I think you just reviewed this recently in your Substack. I did not read that review, but EFIS?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a great movie, and I just saw it.
Tell me about that.
I think you'd really like it. It's a baseball movie, but a very different kind of baseball movie. It's set in, I'm going to say like Long Island or New England or something like that in the 90s, and it's these two amateur weekend teams that are playing on this field, which is going to be torn down to build a middle school. And some of the guys are old guys who, this is the height of their athletic career.
Yeah.
Some of the guys are college guys who didn't quite make it, or former college ball players. And it really is less about the game than about observing all the different characters and their interactions. And it's fantastic. Like
wow.
It's very funny. It's very unusual. Like sometimes you're watching the action in the field, sometimes you're watching the people watching the action. The camera kind of roves around, and it's just very, a comedy, but also kind of very poignant, I thought, in a way, and very wise. And it didn't really get much of a release. Somebody in town, I think it was a local, the guy who runs the local video store kind of rented a theater and showed it, and that's why I reviewed it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, one of my best of the years. It's weird title, EEPHUS.
Yeah,
which an EFIS. A term I didn't know before, but I guess it's like a pitch that's so slow that it kind of psychs the batter out, and they miss it.
They don't know what to
they're
do.
like, well, I could hit this thing, and then it somehow sneaks by. Yeah.
I thought that was a changeup. EFIS must be like to the 10th power.
That's what's described in the movie. Anyway. Yeah.
You F1 is on your list at #7. My son has seen that. Also has seen it twice. And I agree with your review perfectly. The human stuff is pretty basic, you say, but it's such a deeply pleasurable movie to watch with all of the racing. And as you say in your review, you have to see it. You don't want to watch this one on the old black and white.
No, or on your phone. I think.
On your phone,
even
yeah,
though
right.
even though it's an Apple movie, I think.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, I saw it with my wife, and then when I was visiting my mom, we saw it because it was the one she wanted to see with Brad Pitt, and
Sure.
I'm amazed how they made that movie because when you realize like I don't think when I saw it the first time I realized that they were shooting it on the F1 circuit. So they get the cars and the actors out right before the race and shoot for like 8 minutes and then get them all off it really makes you feel like you're in the driver's seat and you are in that world and
Yeah.
I understood a lot more, especially the second time I watched it, about the strategy of it, like how the drivers work together and
Oh,
like
yeah.
when you take your pit stops and what tires you use, and it does a really good job of like it's not just go fast. It's like there's
Yeah.
all these other strategic elements at play. So for me, that's one of those movies that's going to be, I think, really rewatchable, just because it's so fun to watch.
Very well said. My guest is Rob Thomas. He's a Madison-based film critic and the CityCast Madison newsletter editor. Check it out if you haven't already. They do great work. Is there anything else coming up, Rob, in the summer that you're excited to see before we move on from movies?
I'm seeing TV shows that are kind of interesting to me in August, like this new Alien. Have you seen the trailer for that?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen the trailer.
Alien Earth. It looks it's the guy who did the Fargo TV show, which I love.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what he does with it. It's set on Earth. Well, it's called Alien Earth. Of course, it's set on Earth, and it's sort of more about like the evil corporation that you sort of hear about in the Alien movie. So I'm interested in that. I'm trying to think what else. There's one called. I love the Coen brothers, and one of the Coens has a movie coming out called Honey Don't with Margaret Qualley.
Right.
I did. He made this movie last year called Drive Away Dolls that I did not like.
I didn't like it that much either.
I missed missed Ethan badly.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a Coen brothers, so I'll give it a shot for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so let's move on here. I thought this was great. I was in Madison all week last week, and I went to have breakfast in Middleton at a place called Grace's, and I see the National Mustard Museum across the street, and National Mustard Day was August 2nd. I'm like, this is, serendipitous. So I walked in, and I had Barry Levinson, who was the curator, on the show last week. He was a great guest, knew more about mustard than anybody combined. Why is the National Mustard Museum in Madison, Rob, or Middleton?
It's kind of wild. Like, Barry Levinson. The rumor is that like he was a attorney in Wisconsin, worked for the state, and was loved the Boston Red Sox. I don't know if he grew up there or what, but like and when they lost the '86 World Series, he was so bereft. He went to the grocery store. And he tells the story that like the mustard was telling him, if you collect us, it will, or something like that. Even though like that, this was 3 years before Field of Dreams, so I'm a little crazy. Suspicious. Yeah, I'm a little suspicious. But like, and he's just started amassing this collection of mustards, and then had a little exhibition space in Mount Horeb that doubled that in size, and then now has moved to Middleton, and it really is this like destination where you can get like mustards from like all 50 states and 70 different countries, and there's all this like old advertising for old mustard campaigns and promotional videos, and they have a mustard tasting every year where people come and try like super hot mustards and super unusual mustards, and then they have this thing that's like a big street festival where they have obviously mustard, brats and hot dogs and stuff. And last weekend I did try the chocolate shop had a limited edition mustard sundae.
What?
Well, it wasn't that bad. It was basically a caramel ice cream with raspberry honey mustard on it, so it was pretty good. It wasn't like a bright yellow French's mustard.
Right. Yeah, but, we were amazed at all the stuff. He told us that story, too, about how he was staring at the mustard after the Red Sox lost. It was just such a great story.
Yeah.
So. That's great. And it's a great space, too. It's a really nice, sparkling when you walk in there. It's incredible.
And it's right downtown. Yeah, in Middleton. Yeah.
All right, so I want to ask you, Rob, we're going to do a very short break, and I want to ask you about strip mall bars because you seem to have an opinion on those. And then also, I ate last week, and we'll get into this after the break, but my son came over from Milwaukee and hung out with me last Saturday, and we went to the Tornado Club, and I want to talk to you about that too. So we'll do that all coming up next. Let's bang a text out here, Con, if we can. How much time we got? We got like 3 minutes to the break? Oh, no, it's coming up. Conrad's got the fist up. That means get to the break. John Murray, our pal John, says we all know better, don't we? Unless it's your old... Oh, wait, no, I got to read. All right, he has another text I have to read first. We'll do that after the break. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
There's progress we have found a way to talk.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
Welcome back. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba. We are winding up this Tuesday night with our old pal and Madison-based film critic Rob Thomas. We will read texts from Conrad's mom and our pal John Murray in just a moment, too, to close out the show. But right now we have a few more minutes with Rob. Rob, you did a great... I don't know how you guys do this, but CityCast Madison, you pick great things to talk about that I find interesting. And what is it about a strip mall bar? I read this actually yesterday, and I just found it fascinating. What is your take on strip mall bars?
Well, I think, there's something about a strip mall bar. Like you can't put on airs in a bar that's sandwiched in between a laundromat and a Subway,
Get your nails done, go over for martini. Yeah.
And then go get your taxes done. And there is this thing in Madison, at least, where these strip malls, away from downtown, which are where a lot of the cool places like the Tornado Room is, for example.
Yeah.
These little strip malls are they're not dying, but they're sort of just hanging on. And people are moving in and opening these really cool bars. Like there's one called Lola's on the north side of Madison, which is this cool bar where they play vinyl and have great cocktails. And there's one on the east side called the Muskie, short for the Musk Lounge. Where they have great cocktails, nice big space, lots of like parlor games and stuff. And they really become these, community hubs. They're really fun. And in Madison, the sort of the granddaddy of this is Le Tigre, which is this bar in this very unassuming strip mall on the west side, which has been there for like 60 years. And it's like a time machine. It's like, the waiters or the bartenders all wear white shirts and ties.
Love it.
Swear when you're in there. They make the most classic cocktails, martinis, Manhattans. And the whole place is Le Tigre. The whole place is covered in like, velvet tiger paintings and stuffed tigers and all this kind of stuff. It's great. I mean, it's a must when you come to Madison. So I wrote an article about kind of the best strip mall bars in town and kind of what makes them special. And it's pretty cool. I mean,
it's just a great angle to write about. That's why you're good at what you do. Like I would never think, I should write about bars and strip malls, but my eyes went right to it and I was fascinated by it. So did you ever go to Smokies when that was still there at
No, I always wanted to.
Same.
They announced they were closing. I was like, I got to go. And then everybody wanted to go before they closed, So
yeah,
I really missed out on that. Those kind of old places. There's another one on the south side called Feelers, I think, which is another very old school Madison spot. Yeah, you got to treasure those before they're gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now you drive by where Smokies was, and I've walked past that a few times. There are times when I was ambitious where I'd walk from like Midvale or the Target all the way back downtown if I had time to kill, and I walk by Smokies, and every time I walk by, I'm like, I have to go in there. And I never did, and I'm kicking myself. But that leads me to another place. I'd love to get your thoughts on the Tornado Club. We just had such a fun time there, and it was a great steak, too.
Yeah, a wonderful place downtown. I don't go there enough, but it is a place where, like, when people come to town, you show them off by taking them there. My dad's coming to town next month. I think I'll take him, and very great cocktails,
Yeah.
great steaks, and the secret is, it's pretty pricey, but like if you go in after 9, they've got this late night menu in the bar. Which is pretty affordable, and you get like a burger or like mussels and frites or something like that. So another Madison institution that people love.
I got lucky because I knew my son was coming to town. I went in there on a Tuesday and I said, can I get at 8:00, will you still be serving dinner? There's 2 of us. And she said, no, we're booked up through the weekend. And she said, I can put you on a wait list or something. And she said, name. And I told her my last name. And she goes, from Civic Media?
Whoa.
I was like, I think Civic Media's arrived. She said, you know what? I can get you in the bar if it's just 2 of you. And Rob, I almost invited my niece Caroline to join us because we were going to meet up with her later. The table was like the size of a quarter, but we didn't care. It was like the greatest food ever. And we just had a blast. It's an old school place. Absolutely loved it.
So I know what name to drop next time I'm there. Yeah. Okay. It's enough.
Rob Thomas with Civic Media. Hey, thank you, buddy. Always fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, anytime. All right. Rob Thomas, ladies and gentlemen, check out his work at CityCast Madison or follow him at Not That Rob Thomas on his Substack and read his reviews. We've got a couple of texts we'll get to here before we sign off for the evening. Conrad's mom says, where is that text, Conrad? Oh, she says, if it's someone I don't know, I won't say anything. But if it's a real close friend, I will let them know nicely. How do you do that? Hey, your breath is really smelly.
Hey, just letting you know, your breath sucks.
Yeah, your mom's so nice. She says, I would want to know, along with that, if I had any food stuck in my teeth. All right, well, that's very well done, Paula. Thank you. Great text. And John Murray, our pal from Madison, is listening. He says, Peter, really enjoying the show tonight. Your guest, Robert, I think he means Chris.
Yes.
He has to mean Chris because his last name was Rugowski. Maybe he thought that was Robert. But he says, your guest, Chris, is one clever dude. Always wanted to be a Playboy photographer in my youth. Join the club, John. Then I switched to regular boring jobs because I'm not enough like Chris. Nice job, Chris. He kept saying Robert. That cracked me up. John says, continues with another text. He says, and there was no internet in my youth. Dang it anyway. Yeah, I feel your pain on that one, John. He says, here's what John would say if he knew someone with bad breath. He said, yo, dog, your breath has the funk of 1,000 jackals. How about a mint or a root canal? You pick. John says, if it's a lady, well, that's a tough one. Indeed, John. Then he says, we all know better, don't we? Unless it's our own lady. Then we know a way to keep dignity intact. You feel me? I feel you, John. And I think, John, he referred to his wife as his old lady the other night.
Old lady.
That's like a bygone. I haven't heard that in so long.
Yeah, you don't say old, you say old.
My old lady. Well, you are saying old lady, even though she might not be old. That's just the phrase. But it's John's old school.
OLE, old lady.
All right, we'll debate this until we're on the air tomorrow night. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite, folks. Thank you to everybody. Thanks for your texts and calls. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
Take me to your best friend's house. I loved you then and I love you now.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.